Hello everyone, this is Ethan Dragon, and welcome back to another episode of Fire Emblem Heroes. Here we are again, same day, almost at reset here, but we have Legendary Sigurd, maxed out of course from our summoning session earlier today. So as I mentioned in that summoning video, since we have plenty of orbs left over, we are going to summon on the Double Special Heroes banner. In particular, our main focus is Duo Chrom, but I wouldn't mind picking up a copy of Duo Dagr or even like Valentine Lucina, but the main focus is Duo Chrom for reasons why we'll explain during the summoning session. Been calculating our plans for the next few months, and so Milla is rerunning in September, so it's important for us because she is currently at +8, and so our meme dream is to pretend to be a whale, Kappa, and have maxed out scoring for light season offense. Eventually we'll get to Astra offense max scoring, but we prioritize light season because we've been using Nino in light season forever, and she's been wrecking face a lot during light season as our main carry most of the time. So we're going on a budget of approximately 300 orbs up to 400 today. So essentially, if we get to about 300 orbs and we still have a pity rate, then we will budget about up to 100 orbs to break it. If it's still going, we can keep going. The whole cutoff of the 400 orbs is purely I'm saving 200 orbs in case there's a good fodder banner and I want to go summon on it. But honestly, 200 is really low. Anyways, we'll see how many we get here. Based off of our usual shenanigans, I expect maybe 1 or 2 Duo Chroms tops. If we get a ton, that's cool. If we only get 1, also perfectly fine. If we get none, rip us. But here we go. So the main, and unlike the Legendary Heroes banner, you've already noticed we actually already summoned before, and that was our free summon. We actually ended up free summoning Shinon, so, or Ninja Shinon, so that was funny. It's also kind of good for us in respect to the summoning session, because even if we get pity broken by him, then we have access to attack speed solo 4 fodder and low speed defense. And if I didn't mention already, we are dual sniping red and green, but once we pick up Duo Dagr and or Lucina, we prefer to get Duo Dagr here, but not the end of the world if we get Lucina first. Then we'll just probably go to sniping red purely, unless I feel like summoning on green, I don't know. But summoning on green, dual sniping like that is going to cost us a lot more orbs, of course, in terms of the amount of Duo Chroms we actually get. So the reason why we're prioritizing Duo Chrom over Duo Dagr is for the long-term investment standpoint, because the main gimmick of course, aside from them both being duo heroes and scoring incredibly well, Duo Dagr, of course, having her beast skill Sun Twin Wing, allows her to score at the maximum possible score. Of course, I believe Duo Chrom can also do that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but they're, of course, two of the close if not highest scoring units in the game. So again, long-term investment. Duo Dagr's current strength is of course the fact she comes with Pathfinder and her, was it Jotnar bow? And of course the bow is also super strong with debuffs. And her overall kit is centered around debuffs. And so right now she's super strong in the meta because if everything goes well for her, she can debuff enemy stats across the board by over, I'd say, what is that, 15 plus points, which is pretty insane. Of course, you'd need something, you would need to use like attack res Rhine in your C skill. So then combined with Sun Twin Wing debuffing the enemy's defense by 5 speed and defense during combat, you would overall, and then having +6 to all stats as bonuses on Duo Dagr, then her Jotnar bow debuffs the opponent by 11 to all stats during combat, which is pretty absurd. So her matchup cards are incredibly strong because of those heavy debuffs. Now I do think that's going to age alright, but I don't think it's going to age incredibly well because of her base bulk being okay. It's about the standard, generally can tank one generic shot, and then after that getting attacked twice, depends if she's debuffing with those attack enough to survive. I do feel like she'll age perfectly fine. She'll be around in the game, still running around 2 years later. I just feel like personally Duo Chrom's a better investment for us. Also, her duo skill is never going to go out of date. Just casually giving Pathfinder to all your allies within range. Yeah, that's never going to go bad until there's some shenanigans that absolutely mean mobility, which in of itself would be way too broken, I think, because mobility is a key aspect of the game. As much as people kind of graze over it at times, it is incredibly important. And well, the thing with Duo Chrom is he technically will age similar to Legendary Chrom in the respect that he has the effective damage and he has a pretty solid attack stat. So you still will be picking up those one-shots on units. But and of course he has to change fate with Legendary Chrom. Should not be understood how broken that is to use in Arena. You can pull hit and run shenanigans, move your units around across the entire map in one turn. I've done all sorts of silly things with Legendary Chrom. I think hands down, the biggest utility out of Duo Chrom is in Destiny's Bow, in that where is combined with the Change Fate, he can accelerate the special cooldown of himself and the target unit, which is absolutely insane. It's one of those effects that there's not very many options in the game for doing something like that, and for him to be able to do it with a movement assist usage is pretty darn strong, especially in modes where you can idle around. For example, Arena, at times you can just infinite stall the AI enemy units to just keep looping rallies or something. So with that, for example, he'll obviously at that point probably be completely outscored by the newest, greatest scoring units running around, which could be duo units or a completely new type of unit, no idea. But that special cooldown acceleration utility, I think, is never going to go bad until we get an era where like all your units are permanently isolated or something silly, where you can't use your assists, or something where your cooldown keeps getting ticked upwards as well, kind of like perma pulse smoke or something silly. So essentially I think it's going to age very well combined with the Change Fate in an arena context. So I'm planning to +10 him eventually as one of my main score bots. Because if you don't know, my main score bots right now are mostly mythic units. Other than that, it's just the usual super old school 170 BST, maybe. I think I have one 175 BST score bot in Valbar, but he effectively scores the same, I think, as my 170 BST score bots because of how I how I built them. So, kind of an oof in that respect. But I'm cruising along with them, but sometimes their scoring is not enough. And if we, for example, look at Duo Chrom here, he effectively scores as a 195 BST unit, which is straight up 5 BST bins higher than any of our current bots. And because of the change fate, his theoretical max is effectively 6 BST bins higher. So it's straight up an entire scoring bracket up and another half of a scoring bracket up to our score if we replace one of our 170 BST score bots with it. So clearly definitely going to be a huge improvement. And of course, he's probably going to do a lot more than my armor score bots do, sitting around providing chill support or something. That's my logic. I do think Duo Dagr, we might invest into Duo Dagr eventually if we see going forward, maybe like a year later, that she's still kicking strong. But at that point, I don't know if it's worth it. It would probably honestly be for her duo skill, because honestly her duo skill is what makes her super quote-unquote strong in summoner duels. Because with the way summoner duels is structured with the points, if you just get the capture point advantage and the opponent has to be aggressive towards you but can't actually do that, because then in doing so they would just sack a unit for free, or end up having to give you more capture points, yeah, it's pretty strong. On top of the potential to, if this, for example, the enemy doesn't have a far save unit, the potential to just snipe down one of their units and leave, which is, again, sniping down one of their units for free. So that's why we always go for the ban on Duo Dagr and Summoner Duels S. But speaking of banned, I think we're getting banned from Good Luck today. Well, not today, right now. We had alright, interesting luck earlier. But I figured we might as well. It's the last day of June. We might as well kick it off with summoning memes. Or not kick off the end of June. Kick off June with... keep saying kick off. End June with a bunch of summoning memes. And speaking of memes, we do get our first Duo Chrom. He's Maya's attack. Literally do not care. Because of course, his utility is beyond just nuking units. It is the straight up cooldown acceleration. It's just so strong. And of course, he doesn't have to be the one that's using the movement assist for the effective proc. So, pretty wild. As for if we will summon full circle, I don't feel like it's worth summoning on blue for us, so we're not going to. I do expect we probably just only get Duo Chrom here, but that's a win. Since we're just going for as many as we can get. One's already way better than ending out the summoning session with 0. So definitely take that any day. And in terms of orbs used, it's about average, but technically better than average because we're dual sniping red and green, if I remember correctly. Because I think if we're exclusively sniping red, the average is about 120 orbs a copy. And also, fun fact, if I were to summon for him on his regular seasonal debut release banner, the rates are approximately the same. It's just that what differs is what else you get along the way. It's kind of more of a personal preference thing, in my opinion, but that's me. But there we go. Because as you can see here, there's no 5-star pool rate. It's just the 5-star focus. That's why I prefer double special heroes. so I don't get potentially memed on by the off-focus 5-star pulls, which, because of it's not really recent anymore, but the most recent change to summoning, when you summon an off-focus 5-star, not the 4-star special focus heroes that become 5 stars when you summon them, the actual 5-star off-focus pool, your pity rate only goes down by 1%. So if you're at a super high pity rate, it totally eases your pain kappa. But at the same time, it kind of encourages you to want to spend more orbs to try to get something out of your still reasonably high pity rate. Like, for example, let's say we're on a normal banner and we get to, let's say, a really bad scenario, 8%. Very few people will ever get there, but it does happen to people. Also, speaking of which, we haven't been getting a lot of red orbs, but we've been getting a reasonably steady stream of green orbs. That's kind of interesting. But so let's say oh, there's Shinon. We got fodder Pog. Because yeah, we're definitely not actually gonna plus 10 him or build him or merge him or anything. This one's plus attack, pretty solid. But yeah, he's got attack speed solo 4, low speed defense, and Deadeye. I think honestly, Deadeye, we just don't have right now a lot of bow units, at least in my barracks personally, that I would want Deadeye. Yet. That's the thing. It's the thing where, do you keep him for the Deadeye fodder, or do I just use him for attack speed solo 4 and full speed defense 3? That would be, for example, pretty solid on Legendary Chrom, or heck, just putting it on Duo Chrom, because of course Duo Chrom does not come with a lull, and of course he comes with close salvo instead of some attack speed boosting ace slots. Unlike Legendary Chrom though, Duo Chrom can't speed stack as high. I guess he technically can effectively with his duo skill, but we don't count that. It's not reliable. You can't have that every turn when you want it. Or can you? Well, we're almost at 40 summons here. Reasonable amount of 5 stars for the amount of orbs we've burned. So I'm happy so far. If we end the entire rest of the summoning session with just Shinon and Duo Chrom, not the best result, but still a fine result. Kind of would be surprised because, again, see, we keep getting these green orbs. I don't know what the game is doing. Maybe the game is going to have us do something where, something like when, oh, here's Valentine Lucina. This is actually our first, I was about to say far save, she comes in here save. First save unit ever. I just do not have any save units. He's minus speed, which is not great for her kit, because of course she depends on her speed. But nonetheless, still the first save hero. I was about to say far save. First save hero we have. So, you know, we could use her in some duels or something. I don't know how particularly useful that would be, because typically I see ourselves getting murdered by ranged units more often, especially on some particular maps, cough cough. But we don't worry about that. Yeah, definitely happy so far. Getting some good fodder units as well. I think we got a 3-star Chrom earlier. We got him out of here again. We have plenty of fodder for days. I just don't realize that I actually have it until I go to inherit skill and search up skills. Like, oh, I have that many Hinatas? It's not as many as some other people, but I think we have around 20 plus or so. 20 or more. Which is, for us, way more than we used to have, for sure. Way back in the day, I think we had no Fury fodder. No Hinatas. I remember those good old days when people would struggle to pull a single copy of good fodder units in their entire time playing the game. And then by the time they finally summon the units, just like, doesn't really matter. Fury is outdated or whatever skill's outdated. It's just a super budget skill. That's very true in this day and age, but Fury is just a nice A skill to check on for any unit that wants more stats. So that's typically applicable for stuff like Arena Assault. You of course have to worry about the recoil damage and whatnot, but now we can spark with our Fey Pass Kappa. We got to the spark both times. So great. Both times today. Now we can get those 2 free 5 stars. Kappa. Honestly though, if we did actually get a spark, I don't know who I would spark for in the legendary banner. I think at the point where we were when we got to 40 summons on the legendary heroes banner, I think we would have just gone for the Sigurd. And then we would have came out of there with really good rates on legendary Sigurd. Because of course I forgot to put this in the video description, I'm too lazy to edit it in. But I believe, oh my gosh, the amount of green orbs is ridiculous. But we got the first 2 legendary Sigurds in like 43 orbs, which I believe is top 1.5%, the 1.5th percentile. I don't know how you properly pronounce that. Another Lucina, this one's plus speed minus HP, pretty solid. Minus HP is actively bad, of course, with damage reduction, but we don't need that. Will I merge her or fodder her? No idea. I think I will build probably this one, and then figure out what we'll do later with the other one. Because we can always merge later. I'm not gonna really regret it. Oh man, she would have survived if I merged her. Because in most instances that I'm going to use her, I don't think it really is going to matter. It's probably gonna be in like summoner duels or something. Modes we don't entirely care about that much. So, but seriously, the number of green orbs we've gotten today is pretty insane. I think it might be hindsight bias, but I do feel like we got more than a quarter of our total orbs shown to be green. That's probably, yeah, definitely hindsight bias. I'm probably just remembering all the circles with lots of green orbs. Yeah, that'll be something I can totally do if I want to watch all the footage again. But let me think, how many orbs did I start with today? Or, not today, for this summoning session. So, I used 403 orbs. Oh gosh, I forgot the other focus units. I'll just use colorless because it's the only one at the top. Why not? So I used 403, I had 888, so that's 485 to start, I think, for this summoning session, 485. So I've used about 200, holy cow, we used 210 orbs, and I think we have 5 stars actually, 5 focus heroes, because, I'm telling you, why are there so many green orbs? I'm happy we got our Duo Chrom early. We didn't end out of the summoning session with 0 copies of them. This is actually kind of ridiculous. That's pretty strong. Because of course we free summoned the Shinon, we got another one, we got a Duo Chrom, we got 2 Valentine Lucinas. That's insane. Like straight up, if we end the entire session and get nothing else, which hopefully doesn't happen because I kind of want to break my pity rate if that happens from now until we stop summoning. Yeah, that would be pretty insane. So we started we started about 480, so around 180 orbs we want to start thinking about breaking pity rate. Alright, and then stopping. Or we might stop camping, we'll see. We get a Julia. This is our second Julia ever. Let's see what her IDs are. I think the first one was full stack minus HP or something, which is much better than this for our purposes. Although technically minus defense, if you're just gonna use her purely for dragon countering, doesn't matter. It's actually solid to have less HP in that respect, so that's cool. Of course, that doesn't change our pity rate in any way. Keep going here. Alright, here's the red orbs. More fodder or dual chroms. Also debating whether right now if we want to fodder any dual chroms to anyone. Oh. Speaking of fodder, more fodder! Awesome. I'm definitely thinking about giving Legendary Chrom attack speed solo 4 and lull speed defense, just so he has one, a lull speed, because I've been using his base kit lull attack defense since his release March 2020. So I think it might be good to actually speed wars a bit, because he definitely does struggle a lot more nowadays in the speed wars. Bunch of sword heroes with super high speed and speed-based damage reduction can definitely wall him now because of that. So it's definitely something for us to think about. I think ideally, pun intended, we would probably give him attack speed ideal, but then again, I don't know. Kind of want to wait for his remix, but let me tell you, his remix is not coming for a very long time. Unless they start picking up the pace on remix. Because let's say in the worst possible case scenario, they do one remix a month. Currently, I think Duma, if I remember correctly, was released like December... Wait, no. December 28th? No, is it really that long? Yeah. The 2019? No, it has to be December 2019. I think. I think I'm just mixing up years in my head because that's so close to the next year that I'm getting confused. But Chrom's released March 2020. So the amount of Mythic plus Legendary heroes from Duma to Chrom is so long. It's going to be basically, let's just say a year at best. More fodder. Fuck. This will be useful. I promise. For example, as well, I could give attack speed solo 4 into Legendary Nana so that she doesn't have to take the recoil damage from attack speed push 4, so she can actually heal better with her weapon, Landsword. There's just a bunch of uses for... Not Pirate Sheena, Ninja Sheena. Because yeah, we're not plus 10 again. This one's plus speed. Don't know if I prefer plus speed or plus attack, because plus attack gives you guaranteed damage, plus speed helps you quad more often, and then it can help give you the extra damage from Ninja Yumi. I'm gonna be real, the extra damage from Ninja Yumi, not particularly impactful unless you're quadding, I suppose. You can definitely get a lot of mileage there. So yeah, definitely can appreciate the Shinons, although of course, I would prefer to have more Duo Chrom, because then when we actually go around to going to max out Duo Chrom, we won't have to worry about getting as many copies, but what can you do? We're getting incredibly fortunate with the number of 5-stars we've been getting. In terms of specific sniping, we're talking about general raids, like if you just wanted the most red and green focus here as possible dual sniping, I think we're probably close to average, but I don't actually know the rates on that. I didn't run the math on that. I just like approximating, because at the end of the day it's just a metric. It doesn't matter entirely too much if it's accurate, because we're just using it for somewhere to gauge something, roughly. Very, very great. Also, it does turn out we have more than enough drugs to plus 10 them. I think I already mentioned that in the video, previous video where I mentioned the drug shortage. I'm telling you, what is with these 3 green orb circles? We've gotten, this is not hindsight bias, we've definitely gotten like 6 of them, right? At least 6. Which is pretty absurd. It might be 5, I don't know. We can always go back and look at the video footage. We still haven't gotten Duo Dagr yet, the only focus unit the two colors we haven't gotten yet. Maybe it's just the game confirming our suspicions about investing the Duo Dagr. But seriously, I've used Duo Dagr because plenty of times before, because I have some of my friends list with a maxed out Duo Dagr, and her duo skill is way too good in some modes. For example, Grand Conquest, pop it turn 1, absolutely nuke the entire team, and we're basically done. We just have to farm the 20 kills and that's it. So it can be pretty ridiculous. Also, we're getting close to the 300 orb range. Only now do we get a large amount of red orbs in circle. I think this is this the second time we've gotten 4 red orbs in circle? I think so. But yeah, last time it happened there was a blue orb instead of this colorless orb. In fact, I think the blue orb last time was in the same location. I don't know though. Again, we can always just check the footage. That's why we record, to have footage to look back on later. But yeah, I think with how many orbs we're at now, let's just say next focus hero we pull, that's it. I think that's just good. That'll be fun. I'm happy with what we got so far. We definitely got a good haul for our orbs. It's not the world's best haul statistically, but it's still a pretty solid haul. Can't be mad. Didn't get Duo Dagr, so we can't use her as like Summoner Duel's S ban bait. But I mean, what can you do? Well, I mean, we haven't gotten her yet. I should say we could, end her summoning session getting her. As far as if this is a fast, we'll finish pulling the rest of the red and green orbs in the circle, but we're not pulling the rest of the circle unless our pity rate gets ridiculously high. But that's why I think now at this point we are definitely past 300 orbs, so safe to say I think we're ending the summoning session when we get our next focus hero. We are at 7%, but which honestly is not that high. It's pretty expected if you're sniping to get to like at least 7.5, 8%, I think, is pretty common. I could be wrong on that. I definitely forget a lot of things about summoning rates and stats. There's too many of scenarios to remember. If only there was a simpler way to quickly approximate them, but I don't know such a way. A super rough approximation would be good enough for me, like within plus or minus 50 orbs, which is an absolutely horrible accuracy and precision, but it's just an approximation. If we're off by like plus or minus 20 orbs, I really don't care for my purposes, because typically we summon on the order of hundreds or thousands of orbs. So unless it's calculating overall rates, like I pulled 15 copies, then yeah, the plus or minus 20 or 10 or 20 orbs will add up. The error will add up significantly, but I still don't care. Because it's just a way to look at how your summoning went. Getting up to 8%. Do expect we might end out our summoning session here building up to pity rate, or it could end in a certain PC. We've had plenty of fodder for days. So for example, we can give Duo Chrom, we can give Legendary Chrom, we could give it to Legendary Nana. Don't know who else would want it. Maybe we could give it to Nino, but full speed defense. I guess the thing with attack speed solo 4 though and low speed defense 3 is that if we want to inherit both of them from Shinon, we have to pre-inherit attack speed solo 3, and I don't think we have that many readily available attack speed solo 3 fodders around. So we might end up wasting Shinons for just attack speed solo 4, just inheriting the entire, tree? Is that what people call it? Inheriting the entire tree? But yeah. Interesting summoning session here. I think overall we used about, what is that, 340 orbs or something? Approximately. That's what I obtained here. All in all, though, a solid summoning session once again. Let's also remember to change these favorites to training. But as you can see here, we got ourselves one Duo Chrom. Where's our Shinon? Wait, yeah, it's right here. It's our free summon Shinon. So that's one. Wait, what's this Shinon's IVs? Plus speed minus attack. Yeah. Wait, did we get 2 plus speed minus attacks? You got it. Plus attack minus HP. Minus HP minus res. Wait, no. I think I'm just remembering something wrong. Plus speed minus HP, yes. We have good IVs to choose from. So in total, that's 5, 4. I can't count. Gosh dang. Yeah, 5. 5 Shinons, 1 Duo Chrom. So of course, relative to our objective, we got absolutely memed on by the game. So be it. It's not what people like to copium as the 50-50 lost the 50-50. It's just we got RNG'd into not getting Duo Chroms. It's fine. We got one of him. Way better than getting 0. Don't care that he's minus attack at all. That can always be patched in the future when we max him out. I don't care if minus attack means he misses kills where he would have gotten kills if he were plus attack instead. Or even neutral attack. Don't care. 2 Valentine Lucinas, the 4-star special focus Julia. No Duo Dagr. So I think relative to the statistics, we got kind of shafted there as well. But again, don't care. I think I will put the approximate rate, very approximate rates for how we did in the description. I'm sure we did pretty insane for the Shinos. Getting 5 copies, and of course this doesn't include a spark if we had to pay fast. Pay fast. Classic linguistic goof there. Swapping the first letter of the 2 words you're gonna say. But yeah, overall, super happy with how it went. Again, we used about 340 orbs. We got how many 5 stars again? 8, was it? I think it was 8. 5, 2, 1. Yeah. So, definitely pretty darn solid. Can't complain. Would I've liked to gone at least 1 more Duo Chrom? Yes. But is it going to matter later? Let's be real, yes. But we take what we can get. We have plenty of fodder. I mean, let's be real. We already showed this a little bit. We have a little bit of fodder here. Lots of extra copies of units. So that's gonna be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. As always, this is Duo Dragon, and hope to see you all next time. Bye.